Hello and welcome to an album a day, day 304, going through my vinyl collection, almost to the end, guys. We have a couple. One is supposed to be here today, so we'll see, because I'll have to go pick that up tomorrow morning because they put it on the truck to deliver it to basically not deliver it, and then I have to go pick it up the next day at the post office. Fortunately, it's a short walk and kind of gets me out of the house a little bit, so it's not too bad. Just really annoying that I have to wait. Thank you guys for those of you who checked out my releases this weekend. I had two singles that came out to celebrate the haunting season. The first one is an instrumental called Awful Playground, which I did as a demo for a music library. Never heard back from them, so why the hell is it on my hard drive? Might as well put it out there for people to check out. And then my second one was a song that I wrote on July 4th, 2000, based on an apartment I was living in Phoenix. For those of you who know the area, it would be off of I-17 and Cactus, and it was haunted, and so I wrote a little song about the experiences I was having and did it in a rap style, which there's only a couple of songs I've done rap style vocals on, so that was kind of fun, and it's a fun song. The percussion's fun. I had a really good time recording that. Just wish I didn't need to record something about that or have that story to tell, but in any case, it is what it is. But thank you guys very much. I'm currently mixing another soundtrack for a film that, again, unfortunately never came out. The director just wasn't happy with it, and this one I really don't understand why, because I think it's a very beautiful film. I was part of the set crew. I did the on-set sound as well as the composition, and I was the one that made it snow and made it look like they were driving down a freeway. So it was a lot of fun, actually, but the emotional content of that film was very, very powerful. It was hard, being in the room and not getting like all caught up in the emotion of what was going on, because the acting was so good, the atmosphere was incredible. I'm really so bummed that they won't let it out, but in any case, that's what it is. So today I've got an album. We're going back to 1988. Discovered this band, I think, right before we left Michigan, because I remember listening to two albums that were pretty new to me quite a bit on the way from Michigan to Colorado to get to our new house. One was Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. Just absolutely enamored by that album. The writing, the performance, the sound, everything was fantastic. And this little gem from 1988, Kingdom Come self-titled album, Kingdom Come. Now this one is, let me see, I think that it is a 1988 copy, but it is a promotional copy. And I don't know how I knew that, because it must have been something about the record number, because does it say, oh, it does say, yeah, promotional copy, not for sale. So let me actually take the vinyl out of this sleeve this time. Very nice on Polydor, a record label I'm very, very familiar with, because Rainbow, most of their albums I had on Polydor, and you can see right over here, I don't know how well you can see that because I can't see you, but where it says promotional copy, not for sale, which somebody sold it. So obviously the legal limitation has run out, or no one's checking, but if you're somebody who cares and you see this video, I paid for a promotional copy, so there. I always like the album cover. For this album, I thought it was very classy. I love the font. That's really cool. I love the coloring too. This color of blue-gray is really nice. Actually goes very well with the black and white picture of the band on the back, which I also like. Not sure how they came up with this, but I like the fact that we have a little bit of color offset there with that block in the middle. A little bit of wear, not too bad though for a 1988 copy, and it does come with the hype sticker. Now it does look like, being a promotional copy, this might not have been shrink wrapped, although that seems weird to me because your album could still slide out, but the sticker is right on here. It doesn't look like it's been replaced. I mean, it looks like it was actually first time just stuck right to the jacket. So I will just take that as it is. No sleeve at all, but that's okay. What's most important, of course, is two things: the condition for, value, and then what we get musically. So condition, it's in excellent condition, especially for 1988. I think I'm very, very happy with this purchase. Happened to find it for a pretty good price too. Not a lot of copies that I saw. Oh, you know what I just noticed? Some jackass put an arrow there, so that helps. as if you wouldn't know where the songs were. But they put the number one hit. I think well, there were two songs I remember being released. There might have been three, but there were two that I remember, and they put an arrow to one of them, which is the one that actually is my favorite song. But I don't need the arrow. Nobody needs that arrow. But probably if this was sent to a radio station, hey, this is the one to play. So when you grab the album, you have it right there on the jacket. Play that one, because that was a single. So let's see on site. Oh, it says right here. Lent for promotional use, any sale or unauthorized transfer, blah, 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 violation of the agreement above. So I don't have an agreement. So there you go. So we open with Living Out of Touch, which is a great opener, really powerful song. The production on this has an interesting sound quality to it. I like it. I'm certainly, it was one before I got into being an audio engineer. So didn't really think too much about things, but there's just a certain feel about this album that I like. Also, just that crack and snare on this album is fantastic. So we get Living Out of Touch, great opener. Then we get Pushing Hard, great follow-up. What Love Can Be, that's the one with the arrow. Beautiful, beautiful song. Yes, it's a ballad. Yes, those were really big in the 80s and 90s, but it's an absolutely fantastic song. I love it. Then we get 17, which I can't recall off the top of my head, and The Shuffle, which is another one that I really like. That's just side A. Then we go to side B. We open with Get It On, which is the other one I remember them releasing, or at least there was a video for it, so I'm sure there was a single follow-up. Then we get Now Forever After, excellent song. Hideaway, excellent song. Loving You, if it's the one I'm thinking of, pretty good song, not one I go to a whole lot. And then Shout It Out, great album ender. Not a great song for me, but a great way to end the album just the same. Yeah, absolutely excellent. I did a review of this a while back. I feel like I might have been a little bit harsh because the thing about these guys was, obviously everybody was comparing them to Led Zeppelin. I say obviously, if you've heard the music, you would hear why. And I certainly see that sound-wise, that's very possible. Now, it is possible that this is just the sound that they created and how it came together. I certainly accept that. But what they were saying in interviews, and I think to kind of push away the people that were saying that they were Zeppelin clones, which I'm sure was very frustrating for them, was that they'd never heard Led Zeppelin. And there's where I'm like, I doubt it. In this style of music, how could you not have? Now, you may not have known you were hearing them if you heard songs on the radio and you're like, oh, I don't know who that band is, but I like that song, or I don't like that song, or whatever, that's fine. May not identify that band as being Led Zeppelin. But to come right out and say you've never heard them versus I don't know any of their songs, I probably heard them, but I wouldn't know who it was. Something like that I think would have been a little bit more believable, but just that harsh, I've never heard them. I mean, if you're a band, you're listening to other bands, you're listening to the radio, they might have been probably watching MTV, although I don't know how big Zeppelin was on MTV, but most likely in circles, at parties, whatever, they would have heard Zeppelin. So to go out and say we've never heard them, I think that's kind of where I think a little too far. I mean, be reasonable. Say, we didn't pattern ourselves after them. This is just our sound, or we never really got into them. So, not intentional that we sound like them or something like that, I think would have been more respectable. But you say what you say in the moment. I'm sure it was really frustrating for them to just not be defined by themselves because everybody has to compare something to everybody else. And from a marketing standpoint, to an extent, that works. If you like Led Zeppelin and you have a band that comes out and it sounds kind of like Led Zeppelin, you're going to use that in your marketing. If you're a marketing firm, right, you're going to say, hey, here's a perfect tie-in. Zeppelin, a huge band, legendary, one of the biggest in history. So if we can tap into some of their fan base and get them to check out this band, why wouldn't we do that? Of course you would. So, I just thought it was a little extreme of a statement, but on their behalf, I'm sure it was incredibly frustrating to deal with that. But I really like this. Didn't really pay attention to anything they did after. I saw them at Monsters of Rock. They opened the show. That was, not sure the order. I think it was Kingdom Come, Dokken, Metallica, Scorpions, Van Halen. And this would have been with Sammy Hagar. Metallica would have been with Jason. And because they would have had Garage Days Revisited out by that point. I can't remember. I think they might have done something from that. But yeah, I was really disappointed in Kingdom Come because honestly, it didn't sound like they performed. It sounded like they were playing the album through the speaker system and just mimicking it. And then at the end, they did the big, oh, let's trash the drums and all that. And I'm like, it just doesn't fit their sound. You know, if you're the Who, okay. If you're Zeppelin, not even. You know, if you're Kingdom Come, no, it just doesn't fit the sound. You're a 90s ballad rock band. You're not a heavy metal. You know, it wouldn't even look right if Metallica did that, to be honest, because that's just not who they are. But yeah, I really kind of didn't enjoy the show as much as I was so excited to see them. I was glad they were opening. I figured they'd have a short set. They only had the one album out. And yeah, I was just really disappointed. It was like watching that show Solid Gold that used to be on in the 80s, where they literally would come on, not even plug in their instruments. They would mimic playing to the record, and that's what they broadcast on television. Just how hard is it to just plug in and run through a mixer, you know? But in any case, we get what we get. So yeah, excellent album though. I would highly recommend it. I would say if you do like Led Zeppelin or you just like 90s rock music, you love a good ballad, you love a good solid rock song, check them out, guys. Kingdom Come, there you are. Let's see what else is going on. So new episodes of Deep Purple Smoke on the podcast coming out this week for Halloween. My Halloween special for the Haskincast podcast this week. I've got Mike and Julie Shannon returning to the show to continue our discussion on the paranormal, wearing my Talk Scary to Me hat. Shout out to Scout Taylor Compton and Danielle Harris. You guys are awesome. And yeah, thank you guys for all the support, for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.